I'm going to have a drive through Napier with the video going. So this will be quite a longish one. We're down the Marine Parade. Oh no, it's not quite the Marine Parade. We're near the boat harbour. But to our right, which you can't see, are a lot of apartments, and to the left, which you can see, it's a nice green space. There's a nice camper van down here, but we're getting up to the Napier Marine Parade shortly. So this area has gone through what I said earlier was gentrification, the conversion of a formerly industrial area of warehouses into upmarket living spaces. And along here to the left, I'm just going to swivel the camera over a little bit, a lot of high-end apartments, or high-end houses I should say, very expensive, probably at least $1 million. A lot of them will be up around 2 mil. But I was actually born in Napier many, I'm not going to say exactly how many years ago. Now to the left, oh, beautiful day. It's now the 21st of September 2023, so we are heading into spring. Sky is beautiful and clear, and the sea is dead flat. I wish I could show you on the left. Dead flat, reflecting all the beautiful sunlight. Now I'm in a motorhome that I've just picked up in Nelson, well, 2 days ago. I was going to disappear down into the South Island, but my son's had a few problems. He dislocated his shoulder and his asthma was playing up a little bit, so I'm going to head back toward Gisborne. But what I've decided to do is not to hurry off. I'm going to spend the day in Napier, and never know, I might spend another night. I slept in the campground down on the Marine Parade last night, which is free for self-contained vehicles. Now here's the Napier port on our left. My father used to be a watersider at the Port Napier. I'd very much like some shares in the port for sentimental reasons, and of course for any dividends it might pay. But the stories that I could tell from his days of being a watersider would be rather interesting. So I'm on a nostalgic trip through Napier, if you will. Now, Napier was laid waste in the 1920s, 1930s, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact date. Might have been 1931, 1929. But the city was laid waste by a massive earthquake, and several hundred people, I don't have the exact figure, were killed in the earthquake. Now, because of the in the early part of the 20th century, they were building in the Art Deco style all around the world. I'm just going to pull over and let a van go by. And so when they rebuilt the Napier CBD, a lot of the buildings were built in the Art Deco style. And so currently the buildings in Napier are quite a tourist attraction, because a lot of people come to see the Art Deco buildings. And they were all built in that style because of the big earthquake. Now on our right there's a big hill, I think they call it Bluff Hill. And I was born in the old Napier Hospital, which has now been demolished. So this is a nostalgic tour for me. Last night I went past some of my old schools, which was Rainer, which was a Catholic school, and also a school that's now called St. Patrick's. It used to be called Marist. It was a intermediate school before we headed off to Taranaki, my family. But this should make it quite an interesting video, because you don't always see drive-throughs like this. I actually never thought. I wish I had done it on my way down from Nelson. I really should have spent more time in Nelson, but I'll get back to it. You know, as I said, my overriding concern is my son at the moment. Not that he's going to be worried about his old father, but I am supposed to be displaying some sort of parental responsibility. This is going to be, now up ahead, I think they call that the Tennyson building. Coming up, you'll see a big copperish looking dome. It's I think that colour is teal or green or whatever it is. But that's obviously clearly an Art Deco inspired building. I think they call it the Tennyson building. I may be wrong about that. So what I might do is swing right. I was going to drive along the Marine Parade, but I might just have a drive right through the centre of Napier. I'm looking at the view in my cell phone screen. Now, my sister, many years ago, she came racing down the hill here. And on the left is a building called this laundromat building. She came racing down the hill on her bike. She flew in there, she crashed, and she got a big ding in her chin or something like that. There's a story from many years ago in Napier. What we're talking about is probably in the 70s. Oh, that's getting a bit close to my age. Napier's a lovely city, and you know, I have considered moving here. I'd never do it while my son is in Gisborne, but it is a lovely city. A lot of nice sunshine, a lot of memories here for me, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because you know we're supposed to move on with our lives, and when I'm here, you know, memories from the past, old school, all the names of my old school friends from Marist. I was amazed at how the names started to come back to me. And when my son was sick with asthma, I was amazed that when I was a child back in the 70s in Napier, one of my school friends, his name was Philip, he died at school of asthma because his teachers didn't know how to deal with it. And it amazed me that his name just came back to me after all of these years. So all of these old memories, so I'm going to drive right through the middle of the I think this would be the main street of Napier, and you can see here how it's been designed as a walking, you know, it's designed to favour pedestrians, but you can actually still drive through it. But it's designed not to promote a high flow of traffic. I used to go to the bars here, but I've stopped drinking now, so I don't drink anymore, so, which is really good. Good for our health. But we're stopped behind a rubbish truck at the moment. I probably should have thought of that, but it doesn't really matter. I probably shouldn't have bought a heavy, because this is a heavy camper van that I'm in. This was actually an ex-ambulance out of Japan. It was imported into New Zealand around 2003, 2004. It has a phenomenal electrical system because it was designed to support the medical equipment in the ambulance. Now, the previous owners spent $800 upgrading the start batteries, and they're ridiculous. They're way too large just for the purpose of starting a truck, because they also installed a 209 amp hour deep cycle battery, which made the huge start batteries redundant. When they upgraded the start batteries, they really should have put smaller batteries in, which would have reduced the weight, but it doesn't matter. Now, this is a 4.5 litre diesel engine, so the massive, each of the batteries has a amp hour rating of about 70 or 80 amps. So the total amp hour rating of the batteries in this vehicle are about 350 amps, somewhere around there. So let's drive. Now, I might swing right here. Now, I'm going to tell you about my big mystery in Napier. Something really strange, and I'd love to know why that they've done it, but I'll get onto that a bit later. Oh no, here we go. Now, on the right is the central square of Napier. A very nice, I suppose you'd call it a botanical garden. I can't remember the name of it. But you can go there, sit in there, lovely trees, lovely gardens, and they have a musical chiming bell. Oh, I don't know what they call them. Now, on the left, this is the big mystery that I'd love to know, is a Countdown supermarket. And on the right, you look over there, there's a second Countdown supermarket. Both of these Countdown supermarkets are huge. On the left is Pack and Save. Why does Napier have two huge Countdown supermarkets right next to each other? Which is a very big mystery. I've been scratching my head. Why on earth would they do it? Are they trying to capture more market share? This just seems very unusual, right next to each other, that there should be two Countdown supermarkets. Well, I might swing back through town and have a drive along the Marine Parade. This is just an absolutely brilliant day for driving around Napier. There's not a cloud in the sky, and I don't know what they call those. See those big tall trees there? But they look reminiscent to me of what you see in Miami. I think what was that Don Johnson detective show? They used to show the big high trees. Kind of reminded. Now there on the right is the central square again. On the left you can see the Art Deco decorations, Provincial Hotel. I used to drink in there when I was younger, and when I used to drink. So let's drive back. So this drive-through of the centre of town, they've divided in two. You can't drive through, because it's one way, you can't drive through the whole thing, but you can drive from the outside inward from both sides. So this gives you a good illustration of the main street of Napier. So I'll swing left. The only way I can go is left, because no right turns. Over there, you'll see all the Art Deco decoration. The I think you would call it, I don't know what you'd call it on the top of the windows. What do you call it? The lead lighting glass, or whatever it is. So all of these buildings, most of them would have been built in the 1920s, 1930s, in the Art Deco era. On the left, if my memory serves me correctly, there's quite a famous theatre. And when I'm passing through Napier, you often see a lot of people going to, I suppose you'd call it theatre performances. But for me, the memories just flood back from my days as a child in Napier. Some of my mischievous antics, which I won't recall on video. But I have to concentrate. I like this camper van. It's right on the limit of being a Class 1 vehicle. The GVM is 6,000 kilograms, and that's the limit. Anything over 6,000 kilograms, and you need a Class 2 license. I have a Class 2 license, which allows me to drive light trucks. I got my license in Gisborne at one of the driving schools. It cost me $1,200. But at that time I was trading in camper vans and motorhomes, so it allowed me to buy larger vehicles. Oh, there's a lady on her electric scooter. And all these old shops, I can recall going into them when I was younger, and I can recall all the transitions in the city, what it used to look like and what it looks like now. Buildings that have been demolished, the new face of the city. New Zealand is changing, as are countries all around the world. There are a lot of immigrants coming into the country, and so you see a lot of people of different cultures. More so in Auckland than you do in these provincial centres. New rules. I've got left turning priority. Oh no, I can't go right. Oh, that was a mistake. Now that's the Marine Parade up there. Beautiful, the ocean is just flat. And as I drive around, oh, my memory just flood back to me. Now on the left again is that dome. I believe it's the Tennyson building. I want to try and go right, but I obviously can't do it here, so I'm going to have to find a roundabout. I look back with regret that I didn't stay in Nelson, but there'll be another time for that. Now what I try and do is, fuel is very expensive at the moment. They've recently just removed the fuel subsidy. And I can't remember why they had a fuel subsidy on. There's the museum, theatre and gallery on the left. I went through that the last time I was. Here's the sound shell in Napier on the left again. Tennyson building on the right. All in the Art Deco style. Now I'm cruising along the Marine Parade. So there's mini golf on the left and the information centre. Oh, beautiful sunken gardens down to the left. Now, my parents had a home right along the Marine Parade would be worth a lot of money now. But in those days, obviously, the place wasn't built, redeveloped as it is now, gentrified, if you will. So it would have been an affordable house back then, but today it would be worth a lot of money because it's right down near the waterfront. Now, what the council have done is that essentially they've flattened the entire foreshore area and they've basically put it into grass. But in my days, down, I think it was called Awatoto. I'm going to pull over and let a car go by. Oh, it's beautiful what the council have done, but back in my days, the foreshore area in Awatoto, it was undeveloped, and I considered it to be beautiful because there were big mounds of pebbles, and as a small child you could walk through there and they had beautiful blue bottles and flowers, and now it's just a flat lawn, which, you know, which kind of saddens me a little bit. It looks all beautiful, garden, manicured. Now on the left here is the National Aquarium of New Zealand. Back in my day they used to have dolphins in there. They probably don't have dolphins now, they may do, but because people are getting very sensitive about capturing mammals and displaying them, they probably don't have dolphins anymore, I would say. So this is the Marine Parade. Long. There's a lovely statue that was there even when I was a child, so that's going back, oh, I can't say how many years, but probably 10 years ago or so. Well, it might have been a bit longer than that. But on the right, oh, people are spending fortunes developing big mansions. All of these properties that a few years ago, that probably 20 or 30 years ago weren't that expensive, are now incredibly expensive, all multi-million-dollar properties. Now on the left is the campground that I stayed at last night. It's not a campground, it's a parking space for self-contained vehicles, camper vans, motorhomes, and a lot of vehicles, a lot of normal cars, but that's all going to change because they're stopping. Now I'm not going to go right along the Marine Parade, I'm going to swing right here. I'll probably cut this video off shortly because it's getting quite long. You're probably bored with it by now. One of my first schools was the Tiawa Primary School. We lived in Awatoto, and I used to walk quite a distance to get to the Tiawa Primary School. So it's actually quite a beautiful city, Napier, I have to say. And we get these wide, what would you call this, a wide boulevard, nice stream down on the left, a nice attractive bridge and tree-lined street. So very, very wide. It's not narrow little streets. And because the property prices are very elevated at the moment, this has inspired people to spend money on their homes to make them nice. I could stay here all day just wandering around, and I might just swing left. a lot of people aren't into this nostalgia business. They have no interest in visiting the past, but for me, I kind of enjoy it, and my memory just goes back all those years and the things that I used to do. Some things that I should probably forget, but there we are. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. When I was young, I used to, because I had asthma, my doctors recommended that I swim to promote cardiovascular fitness, I suppose, and to develop my lungs. And they had a really nice swimming pool in Napier. And that was something. I went to the swimming club at the Olympic pools in Napier. I would actually very much like to go for a swim today. This is Mariwa. I think they call that the Mariwa shops. And further up here, if I can find it, are the Onikawa shops. I was there last night. And when I was there, I saw the old Olympic swimming pools, and I said to myself, gee, I'd like to go to the Olympic swimming pools. Now, normally I don't have shorts with me, and on all my journeys, I said to myself, oh, I wish I had some swimming shorts. So this time I made sure I bought some swimming shorts. And because it's such a beautiful day, and I'm not in a particular hurry to get back to Gisborne, I'm very much tempted to go for a swim. Now, I'm going to swing right. I shouldn't have swung right, I should have just gone ahead. And I'm going to drive past my old school. I'll swing the camera around as much as I can. Now, this was my intermediate school. It was called Marist in the days, which was a Catholic intermediate school. I'm not sure if the Catholic schools had a great influence on me, but you know. But it's now called St. Patrick's. I recalled, I can't believe that I think since I've stopped drinking, my memory's just improved dramatically. And I recalled the names of the Catholic brothers. One of them was called Brother Aidan, and there's the Aquinas Assembly Hall, yep, been in there. And the other brother was called Brother Fabian. And Brother Fabian gave me a little medal, as they do to a lot of the students. It was, I can't remember, it was coated in a goldish colour. And I had it in my little collection of jewellery. And I gave that to my son. I put it on one of his little punamus. And, you know, unfortunately he lost that, but then, you know, in the end it was only a little, but it was a keepsake from my school days that Brother Fabian had given me. You know, I can't believe that I've recalled the names of these teachers. And when I was at Rainow, I recalled the names of the sisters, you know, and the things that I used to do. I suppose that's what old people do. I'm not that old, I'm 50 something, 55 I think I am. But I suppose you go back and, you know, live in the past to a small degree. What do they say? People who forget the past are doomed to repeat it, or some such thing. I have to say, it is very tidy around Napier. Taradale Road. Now, my parents had a home in Tamatea. It was essentially, I think, a new build back then. Now they are very old. They're probably, the houses would be 40 or 50 years old. But back in my day, the subdivision was new, and I used to walk from Tamatea, and I would have only been 9 or 10. I used to walk from Tamatea down Taradale Road and into town. And back in those days they had a place called the Beehive, or the Hive, something like that. I think it was the Hive, which was an amusement parlour. Now today, everybody has smartphones and computers, and they play games on their smartphones and computers. But back in my day, they had the coin arcade games like Galaga and Missile Commando and things like that. Donkey Kong, and so I used to walk from Tamatea to the arcade, to the Hive, which was next to the Tennyson building, and they also had slot cars in there, and they had these things. I absolutely loved them. They had these sliding machines where you put your coin in, and the coins would cascade over several tiers of the machine, and you could get, you know, whatever came out the bottom. You might get a pile of cash. And I used to take all my little bit of pocket money, and I probably used to lose it in those machines. And I recall those days of walking into town and losing all my money and having to walk home again. And I didn't mean to come out to Tamatea. I was supposed to be going to the pools, because I will go to the swimming pools, but I'm down here now. I might as well go through to the Tamatea. I won't drive past my old homes. But I'll switch this video off shortly. I've got to flatten my phone. I have got a charger, but I had forgotten to put it on. So I don't think you're going to see that many drive-throughs of Napier. I haven't, you know, I can't show the whole city, but there's a little bit of something for people that might be interested in the city. All the memories, because we had several homes in Tamatea. Both of my parents have passed away now, but you know, it brings back all those times. My sister's passed away, and driving through Tamatea brings back all those memories of that time. I try not to live in the past, but it's nice to visit it sometimes. So this is Tamatea. So this is a well-developed subdivision now. Back in my day, it was a new subdivision. So you can see that the houses are from the 1960s, 1970s. My mother worked at a pharmacy on the right. My father was working, he had several jobs in Napier. So let's drive through Pack and Save. Most younger people, they're not going to remember all those old things. So this has completely changed. It wasn't a massive Pack and Save. There was a supermarket there, but most of these things have all, like Rainer School, there's little if any left of the old school. But St. Patrick's, which used to be Marist, basically a lot of the buildings that they do have some of the old, like the Aquinas Hall, they have retained some of the old buildings, but they've just modernized them, new joinery, and they would have lifted them up to modern standards in terms of making them suitable for children. So I went to several schools in Tamatea. One just over here, I can't remember the name of this one. So these would have been, I can't remember what they were. Now over there, it used to be a hotel. There's a big concrete block building. But back in my days, they were just building it. This was going back 40 to 50 years ago. And back in the day, it was just being built. And then it became a tavern. So right in front of me, so there's a big barrel, wine and spirit outlet. But back in the day, it was just being built. So I'm gonna leave here now. I will keep it going a little bit longer. Obviously there won't be many people watching this length, but I'll put it on YouTube anyway. I'm going in search of the Olympic swimming pool. It's been so many years that I think I'm just going to go for a swim. I had a shower, I think it was yesterday morning, because I was in the top 10 campground in Picton. So I don't really need a shower, but I'd like to cool down. It's very hot. Now, earlier this year, because it's now September, it's September 21st. In February, Cyclone Gabriel laid waste to the upper North Island, basically. Billions of dollars worth of damage. And Napier, Hastings was hit quite badly. On Trade Me, which is the largest auction site in New Zealand, you're seeing many vehicles, many caravans, many motorhomes that were destroyed. Brand spanking new, $250,000 horse trucks that were totally destroyed in Cyclone Gabriel, just flooded. Millions upon millions of dollars. Auckland, Coromandel, $1 million sports cars, $250,000 sports cars, just completely written off. All these modern vehicles are great, but you know, there's flooding, there's severe flooding occurring all over the planet at the moment. So I'm going to swing right. We're looking for the Onikawa shops. And the Olympic pools are next to the Onikawa shops. So I'm not using my GPS at the moment. On the left is the industrial subdivision. So we're on Taradale Road, and some really good, well, really good industrial places on the left there. There's a garage that I really like called Napier Brake and Clutch. Really good mechanics, really friendly, do a good job. Ah, here we go, Aquatic Centre. So this should be the Onikawa Shopping Centre as well. Yeah, New World Sentiment, I got it. We had a home just behind the Onikawa Shopping Centre. I can't actually remember where it is, But so there's the Onikawa shops on the right, and on the left is the aquatic centre, which is where I'm going now. I get a bit nervous leaving my vehicle because it's got a lot of, you know, a lot of gear in here. But I don't think anyone's going to be braking in it. I can't believe all the cars. So this is where I used to come swimming as a child. I was a member of the swimming club because my doctors had advised me to swim to promote strength in my lungs, to improve my breathing, and I guess you would say your cardiovascular fitness. Here we are. Now I'm going to go and get my swim shorts out, and I shall have me a swim, and I'm going to very much enjoy it. Alright, I'm going to switch this off now.